This is my favorite shop. Hello. Martin, I have 5 grandchildren. I want to buy violins for them.
For many people around the world, the name André Rieu is connected with joy, romance, and beautiful classical music. When he walks onto a stage with his violin, thousands of people cheer. His concerts are not quiet and formal like traditional classical performances. Instead, they feel more like big celebrations. People sing, clap, and even dance in the aisles while the orchestra plays famous waltzes and classical melodies. Rieu performs in huge arenas, historic city squares, and even outdoor stages built in front of castles. His orchestra members wear elegant costumes, and the stage is often decorated with flowers, lights, and grand designs. It feels like stepping into a magical world from another time. For decades, this style has made him one of the most successful classical musicians in the world. Millions of fans have bought tickets to see him perform, and many more watch his concerts online or on television. However, behind the smiles and the music is a long story of hard work, strong control, and careful planning. Rieu did not simply become famous overnight. His journey started many years ago in a small city in the Netherlands where music filled his childhood. Over time, he turned his love for the violin into something much bigger than a normal musical career. He created a global brand that mixes classical music with entertainment. To understand how he built this empire, it is important to look at his early life, his choices, and the unique way he changed the classical music world. André Rieu was born in 1949 in the Dutch city of Maastricht. Music was a natural part of his family life. His father was a respected conductor who worked with orchestras, and his mother also loved music and played the piano. Because of this environment, young André grew up hearing classical music almost every day. Instruments, rehearsals, and discussions about concerts were normal parts of life in his home. When he was only 5 years old, he began learning to play the violin. Like many children who study music, he had to practice for many hours, repeating the same exercises again and again. These early years taught him discipline and patience. As he grew older, he continued studying music seriously. He later attended several well-known music schools and conservatories where he learned the traditional methods of classical violin performance. These schools train musicians to play with precision, respect musical history, and follow the strict traditions of classical orchestras. While Rieu respected these traditions, he also began to feel that something was missing. Classical concerts were often formal and quiet, and audiences sometimes seemed distant from performers. Rieu believed music could be more joyful and open. He dreamed about concerts where people would not only listen, but also feel the music in a deeper way. This idea stayed in his mind for many years. After finishing his studies and gaining experience as a violinist, he began thinking about creating something different. That dream would eventually lead him to form his own orchestra and start a completely new style of classical performance. In 1987, André Rieu made a bold decision that would change his life and the classical music world. Instead of following the traditional path of working inside existing orchestras, he created his own group called the Johann Strauss Orchestra. At first, the orchestra was small, with only a few musicians performing together. Their main focus was the music of the famous composer Johann Strauss II, who was known for beautiful waltzes that people loved to dance to in the 19th century. Rieu believed this music had a special charm that modern audiences would still enjoy if it was presented in the right way. Slowly, the orchestra grew larger and more ambitious. Rieu introduced new ideas that were unusual for classical concerts. Instead of keeping musicians seated and serious, he encouraged movement, smiles, and interaction with the audience. The performances became colorful shows with costumes, choreography, and storytelling moments between songs. Many classical experts were skeptical at first. Some believed this approach was too commercial or theatrical, but audiences reacted very differently. People loved the excitement and warmth of the concerts. They felt comfortable clapping, laughing, and sometimes even dancing along with the music. Over time, the orchestra expanded to include dozens of musicians traveling together on international tours. The concerts became large productions with impressive stage designs, lighting, and costumes. Rieu had successfully created a bridge between classical tradition and modern entertainment. What began as a small musical project slowly transformed into a worldwide phenomenon that would bring classical music to audiences who had never attended such concerts before. As the popularity of André Rieu and his orchestra continued to grow, his concerts became bigger and more ambitious. By the 1990s and early 2000s, he was performing in huge arenas and open-air squares across Europe and other parts of the world. One of the most famous locations for his concerts is his hometown of Maastricht, where thousands of people gather every year to watch him perform in the city's historic square. These events feel more like festivals than traditional concerts. Fans often travel from many different countries just to experience the atmosphere. Rieu's shows include grand stage designs that sometimes look like castles, palaces, or elegant ballrooms. Members of the orchestra wear formal outfits, such as tuxedos and colorful gowns, which add to the feeling of stepping back into a romantic European past. Over time, his success extended far beyond live concerts. He released many albums that sold millions of copies worldwide. Television networks began broadcasting his performances, allowing people who could not attend concerts to watch from home. Online platforms also helped introduce his music to younger audiences. Through careful planning and strong leadership, Rieu built not only an orchestra, but also a full entertainment company that manages concerts, recordings, tours, and merchandise. This business structure allows him to control many parts of his musical projects, from the stage design to the final recording of performances. Some people admire this strong control because it keeps the quality of the shows consistent. Others believe it makes the organization very structured and strict. Either way, it has helped Rieu maintain a clear and recognizable style that audiences around the world immediately associate with his name. Behind the beautiful concerts and joyful music lies a complex business system that keeps everything running smoothly. Touring with a large orchestra is extremely expensive. It requires transportation for musicians, instruments, costumes, stage equipment, lighting systems, and technical staff. Each concert involves months of planning and coordination. Because of this, André Rieu has built a professional team that manages different parts of the operation. One important figure in this system is his wife, who has played a key role in organizing tours and managing business decisions for many years. Together, they have created a structure that allows the orchestra to travel across continents while maintaining the same level of performance quality at every show. The musicians in the orchestra work under professional contracts, which means they are hired for specific roles and performances. This structure is common in many large entertainment productions. It helps ensure that rehearsals, concerts, and recordings happen on schedule. At the same time, it also means the orchestra functions more like a professional company than a traditional artistic group, where everyone shares creative decisions equally. Rieu himself has often described his role as both a musician and a businessman. He understands that presenting classical music to large audiences requires careful management and financial planning. Without strong organization, it would be impossible to maintain such a large touring operation. For Rieu, the balance between art and business is essential. His concerts must deliver both musical beauty and a memorable entertainment experience. This combination is one of the main reasons his shows continue to attract large crowds even after many decades. Over the years, André Rieu's career has also become closely connected with his family. His wife has remained an important partner in managing the orchestra and helping guide its direction. Their teamwork has played a significant role in maintaining the organization behind the scenes. Rieu also has two sons who have become involved in different parts of the family business. One works with production and recording projects, while the other focuses on technical and logistical aspects of concerts. In many ways, the orchestra has become a family enterprise where personal and professional lives are closely connected. This kind of arrangement can bring both advantages and challenges. On one hand, working with family members can create trust and long-term commitment. On the other hand, it also means that the demands of the business are always present, even during personal time. For Rieu, music has never been just a job. It has been the center of his life since childhood. Touring, rehearsing, and planning future concerts require enormous dedication and energy. Even after decades of success, he continues performing regularly, often saying that the stage is where he feels most alive. Many fans admire this passion and dedication. They see him not only as a talented musician, but also as someone who has devoted his entire life to sharing music with others. As he grows older, questions about retirement sometimes appear in interviews. However, Rieu often says he plans to continue performing as long as he is physically able. For him, music is not something he simply does. It is a part of who he is. Today, André Rieu stands as one of the most recognizable figures in the world of classical music. His concerts have introduced millions of people to waltzes, operetta melodies, and classical compositions that they might never have heard otherwise. While some traditional critics have questioned his theatrical style, many fans appreciate the way he makes classical music feel welcoming and emotional. His performances remind audiences that music does not have to be distant or difficult to understand. Instead, it can be joyful, romantic, and shared with others in a lively atmosphere. Over the years, his orchestra has continued traveling around the world, bringing the same magical concert experience to different countries and cultures. People of all ages attend his shows, from older couples who love traditional waltzes to younger listeners discovering classical music for the first time. This wide appeal is one of Rieu's greatest achievements. He has shown that classical music can still capture the imagination of large audiences when it is presented with warmth and creativity. As time passes, his legacy will likely be remembered not only for the number of albums he sold or the size of his concerts, but also for the happiness he brought to so many people. Through decades of performances, André Rieu has created a unique place for himself in music history. Whether on a grand stage in a European square or in a concert hall on the other side of the world, his violin continues to play the melodies that have made audiences smile for generations. One of the most fascinating parts of André Rieu's success is the way he designs his concerts. When people attend one of his performances, they quickly realize that it is very different from a typical classical music event. Traditional orchestras often perform in quiet concert halls where the audience sits silently and listens. In contrast, Rieu's shows feel more like celebrations. His concerts are carefully planned experiences that combine music, theater, and visual beauty. The stage is often built to look like a grand palace, a historic European square, or even a castle. Large screens, colorful lighting, and elegant decorations help create a magical atmosphere. Members of the Johann Strauss Orchestra wear beautiful gowns and tuxedos, which adds to the sense of tradition and romance. During the show, Rieu often talks to the audience between songs, telling short stories or jokes that make people feel relaxed and included. Sometimes singers, dancers, or guest performers appear on stage to add variety to the program. All of these elements are rehearsed many times, so that each performance runs smoothly. Even though the concerts may look spontaneous, there's a great deal of planning behind every moment. This attention to detail helps ensure that audiences in different cities receive the same high-quality experience. For many fans, attending one of these concerts feels like stepping into a dream world where music, history, and celebration come together. This unique style has helped Rieu stand out in the classical music industry and has attracted millions of loyal followers around the globe who return to his concerts again and again. Although the atmosphere of André Rieu's concerts appears joyful and relaxed, the work behind the scenes requires great discipline. Touring with a large orchestra means that every performance must meet high standards. Rehearsals are an important part of this process. Musicians spend many hours practicing together to ensure that every note sounds clear and balanced. Timing is also very important because many parts of the show involve movement on stage, lighting changes, and interactions between performers. For this reason, the production team carefully plans each detail long before the concert begins. André Rieu is known for being a perfectionist when it comes to the final result. He often reviews recordings of performances and looks for ways to improve the presentation. This careful approach helps maintain the high reputation of his orchestra. However, it also means that musicians must follow clear instructions during rehearsals and concerts. The structure of the orchestra is similar to that of a professional company, where everyone has specific responsibilities. Each musician knows exactly when to enter, where to stand, and how to perform certain movements during the show. This level of organization ensures that the large production runs smoothly, even when the orchestra is traveling to different countries. While the audience mainly sees a joyful side of performance, the preparation behind it involves hard work, coordination, and dedication from dozens of people working together. Without this discipline, it would be impossible to deliver such a consistent and polished concert experience night after night in different parts of the world. One of the biggest achievements of André Rieu is his ability to introduce classical music to people who might not normally listen to it. For many years, classical concerts were often seen as formal events mainly attended by experienced music lovers. Rieu changed this perception by making the music feel welcoming and entertaining. Instead of focusing only on complex compositions, his orchestra performs many melodies that are easy to recognize and emotionally engaging. Famous waltzes by Johann Strauss II often appear in the program, along with popular opera songs, film themes, and traditional melodies from different cultures. This mix of music helps audiences connect with the performance even if they are not familiar with classical traditions. Another important factor is the atmosphere of the concerts. People feel comfortable clapping along with the rhythm, singing with the performers, or even dancing during certain songs. This relaxed environment removes the pressure that some people feel in traditional concert halls. As a result, many first-time listeners discover that they enjoy classical music more than they expected. Over the years, this approach has helped bring a new generation of listeners to orchestral music. Some critics argue that the shows focus more on entertainment than pure musical complexity. However, supporters believe that the main goal of music is to create emotion and connection. By reaching such a wide audience, Rieu has helped keep classical melodies alive in modern culture. His concerts remind people that classical music can still be exciting and meaningful in today's world. After decades of performing around the world, André Rieu remains one of the most recognizable figures in classical entertainment. His violin, his orchestra, and his grand concert productions have become symbols of celebration and musical joy. Many fans who attend his concerts describe them as unforgettable experiences filled with emotion, beauty, and nostalgia. For some people, the music reminds them of special moments in their lives, such as weddings, family gatherings, or travels through Europe. These emotional connections help explain why audiences continue to return to his performances year after year. Even in an age where digital streaming and modern pop music dominate the entertainment industry, Rieu's concerts still attract large crowds. His ability to combine tradition with spectacle has given classical music a fresh and lively image. At the same time, his long career shows how dedication and vision can turn a simple idea into a global success story. From a young boy practicing violin in Maastricht to an international performer filling stadiums, his journey has been shaped by passion, discipline, and creativity. As he continues performing, many fans wonder how long he will remain on stage. Rieu often says that music is the energy that keeps him going, and that sharing it with audiences gives him great happiness. Whether he eventually retires or continues touring for many more years, his influence on the world of classical music is already clear. Through his unique style and dedication performance, André Rieu has shown that beautiful melodies and joyful concerts can bring people together across cultures and generations. Even though André Rieu has achieved enormous success, his career has not been completely free from criticism. In the world of classical music, traditions are very strong, and some experts believe performances should remain formal and focus purely on the music itself. Because Rieu's concerts include stage decorations, costumes, storytelling, and entertainment elements, a few critics have argued that his shows feel more like theatrical productions and traditional classical performances. They worry that the visual spectacle